Could you ever imagine that a simple piece of paper could hold so much power? A piece of paper that promises to pay a sum to a specified person at a set date. That's a promissory note. But how does this tie in with debt, trust, bonds, and even something as personal as your birth certificate? And why, you may ask, do we pay tax? Welcome to the complex world of finance and economics. A world where a simple piece of paper could mean the difference between prosperity and bankruptcy. A promissory note, as the name suggests, is a promise. It's a promise to pay a certain amount to a certain person or organization at a certain time. It's a binding contract that carries legal weight. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. You see, a promissory note is essentially a debt. When you take a loan from a bank, you're essentially signing a promissory note. You're promising to pay back the bank, plus interest, at some point in the future. But here's the kicker. That debt is then used by the bank as an asset. Yes, you heard it right. Your debt is someone else's asset. Now, how does trust factor into this? Trust is the glue that holds the financial system together. Without trust, the system would collapse. When you deposit your hard-earned money in a bank, you're trusting that the bank will keep it safe. When you buy a bond, you're trusting that the government or corporation will pay you back with interest. Trust is the invisible currency that powers the world's economies. And what about bonds? Bonds are essentially promissory notes issued by governments and corporations. When you buy a bond, you're lending money to the issuer in exchange for regular interest payments and the return of the principal amount at the end of the bond's term. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Your birth certificate, believe it or not, is a form of a bond. It's a document that declares you as a citizen of your country. It's a promise that the government will protect your rights and provide certain services. In return, you pay taxes. So, why do we pay taxes? Taxes are the price we pay for a civilized society. They fund public services, infrastructure, and the salaries of government employees. But here's a thought-provoking question. Who really funds the world? Is it the public? In a sense, yes. The public pays the government's wages, but does the government really work for the public? That's a question for another day. And why do banks seem to have unlimited money? It's because banks can create money through lending. When a bank lends you money, it doesn't take that money from its vaults. Instead, it creates new money out of thin air. But that money is backed by the promise that you'll repay the loan. It's backed by a promissory note. So, the next time you think about selling your car for money, remember this. That money is backed by nothing more than a promise. A promise that someone else will accept that money as payment in the future. Intrigued? Want to know more? Delve deeper into the world of finance and economics. Understand how money works, understand your financial situation better, because knowledge is power. And in the world of finance, knowledge is wealth.